Hey everyone, how's it going? Today, we're diving into a conversation about the Las Vegas Raiders, a team that's gone through some serious changes during this offseason. The energy surrounding the team has been buzzing with excitement, especially after some big signings and key draft picks. But today, I want to focus on the players who were already part of the organization last season, the ones who are now in the spotlight under the new regime. With all the transformations led by Pete Carroll and John Spytek, both offensively and defensively, it's time to take a deeper look at who the winners and losers are within this revamped roster. Let's face it, with the NFL season fast approaching and the Raiders' off-season workouts kicking off on April 8th, there's no denying the anticipation. There's a real sense of hope that this new management might be able to take the Raiders in a positive direction. So, it's only fitting to look at how the players who've been with the team are shaping up now. If you're as hyped as I am about what this season could bring, let me know in the comments. And for those of you following the offseason closely, there's a lot to unpack, especially around players like Jack Jones. Honestly, I could have included Jack Jones in the list of players who've had a tough offseason. His exit was a big surprise, and I know many fans were left scratching their heads about it. But this was something I had been talking about for a while, so it wasn't exactly unexpected for me. It's always interesting to see how the fans react to these moves, especially when the news breaks and people are still trying to figure out what happened. If you're looking for a breakdown of all the moves, make sure you're keeping up with the updates as things unfold. But let's get into the fun stuff now. The plan for today is simple. I'll start by highlighting the winners on offense, then we'll move on to the losers on that side of the ball. After that, we'll dive into the defensive side and see who came out on top and who might be facing some challenges. The changes on both sides of the ball are worth analyzing, and it'll give us a clearer picture of where this team is headed. Now, let's start with Trey Tucker. He's a name that's been rising up the ranks this offseason, and for good reason. He's now sitting as the team's number 2 wide receiver, right behind Jacoby Myers. That's huge for Tucker, especially since the wide receiver position was a point of focus for the Raiders in free agency. The fact that they didn't make a big splash signing a receiver means that Tucker's chances of making a big impact this season have increased dramatically. When you have a solid quarterback like Geno Smith at the helm, opportunities like this don't come around often. Tucker's chance to shine is here, and he's making the most of it. Moving on to the 4th spot, we have Jordan Meredith. The Raiders made the decision to bring him back this offseason, and it's clear why. Meredith is now battling for a spot on the offensive line, competing with Alex Kappa, JPJ, and Dylan Parham. The fact that Meredith could start at left guard is a big win for him. He's been consistently solid, earning one of the highest PFF grades among offensive linemen last season. The competition at that position is fierce, but Meredith has positioned himself well, and his presence on the team this year speaks volumes about how highly the coaching staff values him. Next, let's talk about DJ Glaze. This is an interesting one because the Raiders didn't draft him, but he's been making waves during the offseason. He's showing some real promise, and there's a good chance that if the season were to start today, Glaze would be the starting right tackle. The Raiders have been building their offensive line, and Glaze has been a standout in that area. He wasn't drafted by this current regime, but the fact that the team hasn't brought in another right tackle says a lot. It shows that they see something in him. The Raiders have always emphasized building a strong offensive line, and Glaze is a big part of that. He might not have been drafted, but that doesn't mean he isn't a crucial part of the Raiders' plans for the future. Moving to the 2nd spot, we have Brock Bowers. This is a player who's really caught my eye. Bowers is a tight end, and with Geno Smith now under center, he has the chance to really take off. Geno Smith is a big upgrade over Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, so Bowers' ability to make an impact this season is looking pretty promising. He showed a lot of potential last season, and with a better quarterback throwing him the ball, his chances of stepping up are higher than ever. Bowers was already impressive in his previous season, and now, with a more precise quarterback, we could be looking at a breakout year. The potential is there, and I'm excited to see what he can do. As we wrap up the offensive winners, I want to know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think has been the biggest winner on offense for the Raiders this offseason? I'll give you a hint. The answer might just surprise you. But let's save that for later because right now, I'm still focusing on the offense. This is shaping up to be a critical year for a lot of these players, and with the new additions and changes to the roster, the competition is fierce. But let's move on now and take a quick look at the offensive players who might have taken a step back this offseason. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, and there are some players who haven't quite lived up to expectations. Now, I'm not saying they're necessarily done, but they might be facing an uphill battle this year. Let's start with a guy who, to be honest, I expected a lot more from. There was hope that this player would step up and take a bigger role on the offensive line, but it's not clear whether that will happen this season. The Raiders did bring in some new faces to compete for spots, and it's possible that this player could find himself out of a starting job. That's the nature of the business, though, and everyone knows that competition is fierce in the NFL. Moving on, another player who might be on the chopping block is someone from the offensive line. This player has had his moments, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to hold on to his spot. With the Raiders potentially looking for new talent in the draft, the pressure is on him to prove he's worthy of a spot on the roster. It's going to be a tough road ahead, and with the team looking to make improvements, this player could be in trouble if he doesn't step up soon. Lastly, let's talk about Zamir White. Now, this one stings a little bit because I really hope things would go better for him. Zamir had some flashes of potential last season, but his struggles with ball security and inconsistency really held him back. With the Raiders bringing in other running backs and considering the weak performance of the rushing attack last year, Zamir White's time with the team could be coming to an end. It's a tough break for a guy with talent, but sometimes the NFL doesn't offer second chances. The running back position has been a concern for the Raiders, and with Raheem Mostert joining the team, it's clear that the competition will be intense. Zamir White, unfortunately, could find himself at the bottom of the depth chart if he doesn't improve. It's a make-or-break year for him, and if he can't find a way to make an impact, he might be out of a job. But that's the business of football, right? You have to prove yourself every year, and if you don't, the next man up will take your spot. Now, as we shift our focus to the defensive side of the ball, it's clear that the Raiders have made some bold moves to improve their defense. While there are some standout players who've made a significant impact this offseason, there are also a few players who might find themselves struggling to secure their place in the team's future. We're going to take a closer look at both sides and examine how things are shaping up as the Raiders move forward with their defensive rebuild. Let's start with the linebackers. Omari Gaynor is a name that has been steadily rising on the Raiders' radar, and it's not hard to see why. He's making all the right moves this offseason, connecting with the right people, and positioning himself as a key player for the upcoming season. Gaynor's association with Max Crosby is particularly noteworthy. Having ties to a key figure like Crosby is never a bad thing, especially when the linebacking core has been a bit shaky. The linebacker group is one area where the Raiders have room for improvement, and Gaynor might just be the guy to fill that gap. He's got the athleticism, and he's been making a strong case to earn a significant role within the team. The Raiders have brought in some new talent, including Landon Roberts and Devin White, but I wouldn't count Gaynor out just yet. He's been showing a lot of promise, and with the right development, he could be a major contributor in the upcoming season. Moving on to Trey Taylor, a safety who's flying under the radar, but has been impressing the coaching staff. Taylor's name hasn't come up much in the mainstream discussions, but he's quietly been making strides. He's been getting more attention lately due to the Raiders' need for a strong safety, and it looks like he might have a real shot at contributing this year. While he's not a household name, Taylor's been showing the right kind of attitude and work ethic that the Raiders' coaching staff values. He's got the tools to succeed, and his visit with another team last season only adds to the intrigue around his potential. He's been doing all the right things to prove that he belongs on this roster. The Raiders are looking for players who are going to give it their all, and Taylor seems to fit that mold. His versatility could make him an asset to the team, and he's one player to keep an eye on as the season progresses. Another player who's been making a name for himself this offseason is John Liu, a defensive tackle. Now, there's a bit of a debate about whether he's truly the starter or not, but the potential is definitely there. Some people believe Liu could be the guy alongside Christian Wilkins if the season were to start today, but I'm not entirely convinced. Liu has shown promise, but I still think Adam Butler is the safer bet for the starting position, especially with the 3-year contract the Raiders gave him. That contract speaks volumes about the team's confidence in Butler, and it's hard to overlook that when projecting the defensive line for this upcoming season. Still, Liu's presence in the defensive tackle rotation is a positive sign for the Raiders, and it's clear that the coaching staff sees something in him. He could very well end up playing a more significant role as the season progresses. But for now, Butler's the frontrunner. On the cornerback front, Demarion Richardson is a name that has been generating some buzz. While he wasn't picked by the current regime, there's still a lot of belief in his potential. Richardson's physical tools and athleticism make him an intriguing prospect, and the fact that the Raiders are giving him a chance is a good sign. The Raiders have been making moves to solidify their secondary, including bringing in Eric Stokes, but Richardson is still a player to watch. If he continues to develop, he could be a key piece of the Raiders' defense in the future. His path might not be as clear as some other players, but he's got the potential to make an impact. Whether it's as a backup or as a special teams player, Richardson could find his way onto the field this season. But perhaps the most obvious winner on defense this offseason is Max Crosby. Crosby has been a rock for the Raiders' defense for years, and this offseason, he solidified his place as one of the team's most important players. The Raiders made sure to lock him up with a big contract extension, making him the highest-paid, non-quarterback defensive player in the league. That's a huge deal, and it's a testament to how much the team values Crosby's leadership and ability on the field. Crosby has consistently been one of the best edge rushers in the league, and with his new deal, he's now in a position to help lead the Raiders' defense for the foreseeable future. It's not just about his sack numbers either. Crosby is a leader in the locker room, and his presence on the field elevates the entire defense. His new contract ensures that he'll be a Raider for a long time, and that's a massive win for both Crosby and the organization. Now, let's take a quick look at some of the defensive players who might not be in the best position this offseason. The Raiders have made some strong moves, but there are a few guys who are finding it harder to carve out a role for themselves. Tyreek Wilson is one player who might be facing an uphill battle. Wilson has been through a lot of changes in his short career, and this will be his third defensive system in as many seasons. It's tough for any player to adjust to so much turnover, and Wilson might struggle to find consistency. With the addition of Devin White, there's a chance that Wilson's role could be impacted. White has been brought in to potentially play as an edge rusher, which could take some of the spotlight away from Wilson. The Raiders have a lot of options in the linebacker and defensive line positions, so Wilson will need to prove himself if he wants to stay relevant in the mix. Then there's Tommy Eichenberg, a linebacker who might not have the clearest path to playing time this season. With the Raiders bringing in Roberts and White, the linebacker group is becoming more crowded, and Eichenberg might find himself on the outside looking in. It's tough for any player when the team is bringing in so many new faces, and Eichenberg could be the odd man out. The Raiders' decision to bring in new linebackers signals that they're looking for more depth at the position, and Eichenberg may not have done enough to secure a prominent role. Finally, we have Matthew Butler, the defensive tackle who is facing a challenging offseason. Butler has been mentioned multiple times in previous seasons as a player to watch, but now, things aren't looking great for him. He wasn't drafted by the current coaching staff, and that's a big red flag. The Raiders have brought in other players to bolster their defensive line, including the addition of Lucky Fu and the retention of players like Christian Wilkins. Butler's lack of fit within the team's plans could mean that he's on his way out. There are even whispers that his work ethic might be in question, and if that's true, it could be a major problem for his future with the team. The fact that the Raiders have prioritized other defensive tackles over Butler is a clear sign that his spot on the roster isn't guaranteed. It's going to be a tough year for him, and unless he can turn things around, his time in Las Vegas might be coming to an end. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The Las Vegas Raiders might just be preparing to make a bold move that could electrify their offense and their fan base. Rumors swirling around the league suggest the Silver and Black have set their sights on Kendrick Bourne, a wide receiver known for his energy, route-running precision, and clutch performances. Could Bourne be the missing piece in the Raiders' offensive puzzle? Bourne's journey in the NFL has been nothing short of compelling. After making a name for himself at Eastern Washington, he first turned heads with the San Francisco 49ers before landing with the New England Patriots. Despite suffering a torn ACL during Week 8 of the 2023 season, His grit and determination to return to form have kept him in spotlight. His strong showing early that season, including a standout Week 1 performance with 2 touchdowns, reminded everyone of his game-changing potential. Though he signed a 3-year extension with the Patriots in March 2024, Bourne's future might still be up in the air. The Raiders' interest suggests they see something more, perhaps a belief that Bourne can bounce back stronger than ever and offer a spark to their evolving offense. His return from the reserve/PUP list last October signaled the start of his comeback story, and Vegas may be ready to help write the next chapter. For the Raiders, adding a player like Bourne could inject much-needed versatility and leadership into their wide receiver core. Known for his locker room presence, as much as his ability to make plays under pressure, Bourne brings more than just stats to the table. Head coach Antonio Pierce is reportedly intrigued by what Bourne's intensity and experience could add to a young and hungry roster. While no deal has been made official, the buzz around a potential move is growing louder by the day. If the Raiders pull the trigger, fans in Las Vegas might soon witness Kendrick Bourne lighting up Allegiant Stadium, proving once again that in the NFL, comebacks and big-stage performances go hand in hand. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.